there. Okay, I am leaving my house and I am going to go for a walk. And let's see, I want to make sure that you can hear me okay. So I think we're going to go here. There we go. I'm going to try this. This is new for me. I am going to go for a walk and talk. I have already done my exercise for the day, and I gotta get that there. I took a class this morning at the gym, and it was a stretch class for an hour. If you're on, do me a favor and let me know if you can hear me okay. Let me know in the comments. Let's see, can I even see comments? I'm not even sure where to see. I see a few people on. Okay, let me see if I can see. Top four. So I want to just see. I'm gonna try it. Yeah, so I took an 8 o'clock stretch class this morning, which was really, really hard. Really hard. And I was pretty sore afterwards, but it was good. Great. You can hear me and the birds. Exactly. Cool. Thank you for letting me know that. I got to get my hair out of my eyes. Okay. And then I have a new person in my life, a personal trainer. And she came today. She comes twice a week. This week she only did once. Lots of cars, not a lot actually, just a few, but I'm going to be walking down a side street where there will be much less cars. I decided to do an impromptu live. We've just had a house full of company. See, that was a loud National Grid truck. Okay, let me know in the comments if you would where you're watching from. I'd love to know. I had to wear this dopey hat. I never wear hats like this, but I'm trying to keep the sun out of my eyes. Where are you watching from? And Beth is here. Hi, Beth. Nice to see you. Doing this was risky. I'm hoping that there will not be any trolls. That's my hope. Anyway, so I did a stretch class at 8, and then I did my personal trainer. We're working on strength and balance. I told her I really don't want to work on reshaping my body per se. That's not my goal. My goal is to work on strength and balance. And I go to the gym, and I feel like she told me that for considering my age, she said I'm in better shape than a lot of her 60-year-olds. So I felt pretty good about that. St. Pete, Florida, and I saw Sarasota come up. Cool. This is going to be a really interesting experience for my arm, because the arm that's holding the tripod, I just switched hands, was starting to cramp up a little bit. So anyway, I thought it would be fun to do an impromptu live and answer questions, sort of a walk and talk and Q&A. So who has a question for me? Let me know. Those of you who don't know me, or if I'm new to you, I am, see, that's better. It's a little shadier. I am 100% fully whole food plant-based. And also I don't 99 and 9/10% of the time, I don't eat any oil. Sometimes if I'm out at a restaurant, there might be no other choice, but as a general rule, that's my goal, is to be oil-free as well. So I've been doing this for 6.5 years, and I love it. I love it. I feel so blessed to have found this way of life. And at this point, the weight piece of it is sort of a non-issue for me. It helped me lose the last 10 pounds. And then it's been, I don't know how many years now, that I was telling my trainer today that I don't even have to get on a scale, which is so freeing. And that's the idea, is the food freedom and the lifestyle freedom. What has been granted to me is beyond anything I could have hoped for. I don't think I really knew. Judy says, how old were you when you went whole food plant-based? Did you have any health issues? Great question. So I'm 70 now, and I'm in my 7th year of doing this. So, I was like 63-ish is how old I was. And I had, the issue that I had was I had terrible indigestion and reflux all the time. Okay, I'll get to that, Cindy, in a little bit. I'm not sure how to see all the comments. But my reflux and all my indigestion, it went away. And I'm talking not just Tums, but I threw everything at it that I possibly could to help with the reflux and the indigestion. It was terrible. I mean, I don't have any currently, thank God, knock on wood. I don't have any major issues. I don't take any medications. I have family members who have thyroid issues, and my parents, may they rest in peace, had a lot of cardiac issues. But I have always been fairly healthy, aware of my eating. But a lot of it was I was on diets all the time, and those were terrible. I wanted to find a solution that would allow me to get off what I call the diet roller coaster, which I have. I'm no longer on it. I never diet. I never think about it. I don't weigh, measure, portion my food, with some exceptions, but I can explain that if you're interested. But anyways, and I think as a matter of fact, today was my 7th appointment, my 7th session with my trainer. And she had me do something today that I can explain to you what it was like. It was hard. We haven't done it until today, which was a balance thing where I put, I put one foot on the cement, and then, because we were outside, and then I took my other foot and put my heel of my other foot in front of my toe of my left foot, so that they were like on one plane. And then I had to take my left foot, back foot, and move it to the front, and then alternate. And it was really hard to do. So she said that we're going to continue to work on that, and that I should do it every single day, which I will, for sure, because it was hard. And she said if it's hard, or some of the exercises she has me do, I tell her I hate. And she said, good, if you hate them, that means that we need to do them more, which is fine. I get it. So anyway, any other questions? Feel free to let me know. I love this way of this. I love this lifestyle, and it's more than just food. I always want my clients to understand that. And by the way, I do take a limited number of coaching clients. If you're interested, let me know. I have a specific program that I follow, that I've created, where I really put I put you in the driver's seat, and I help you direct your own coaching. I help you. I am there for support. I'm there to help you with designing your own meal plans. I'm there to help you look at the whole picture. It's not just food. I'm there to help you see that it's when I say lifestyle, it's not just food. It's about sleep. It's about exercise. It's about friends. It's about joy. It's about finding things that give you joy. It's about bringing joy to other people. And if you think those other things don't count, you are sorely mistaken. Those are all an important part of the package. And if one piece is missing, it's like a piece of a puzzle that's missing. Oh, it's nice in the shade, isn't it? Okay, and I also have my weighted vest you can see on. Whew, it's heavy. Between that and my water bottle and my bag around my neck. Okay, so it's hard because I think that I came into this wanting to lose weight. That was really my my impetus. That's why I wanted it. I no longer do. And not because I've reached maintenance, it's because I've learned so much from this lifestyle. What happened to that comment? I saw it. I don't see it anymore. Let's see. I don't know where it is. I'm on my phone and I'm outside and I've never done it this way before. Maybe it's here. Let's see. Hi.
Hello.
No. Chat viewing options. Top chat, live chat. Oh, there we go. Live chat. There we go. Okay. Mary Ellen from New Brunswick, Canada. Excellent. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Who's struggling with anything when it comes to their health? Let me know that. What's on your mind? You know, we're all, I like to think of this YouTube channel as a community of people who are all supporting each other, myself included. I support you, and you help me create this beautiful community. I'm going to try to not feel like I have to fill in every single pause. I'm going to take my time. Oof. Wow. That woman came close to literally getting up on the sidewalk. Holy crap. Whew. That was kind of scary. Okay, where was I? I came at this initially because I wanted to lose weight. You know, I'm going to do this and see if that makes a difference. Okay, I wanted to lose weight. No doubt about it. I had tried 5 other diets over the course of a few years, and those diets were just painful. I was hungry all the time. I was bitchy all the time. I hated it. I hated, and you know what they are. I don't want to say the names. I weighed food, measured food, portioned food, and when the kitchen was closed, the kitchen was closed. I never really ate to satisfaction. Why is it not letting me see it? Okay, struggling with everything, LOL. Very glad I found someone close to my age. Judy, I'm your girl. I'm your woman. I'm your person. I can tell you that there's nothing like community to help you feel not so alone. I love whole food, plant-based eating. In the beginning, I can't say that I did it from an ethical standpoint, but as I've grown into my shoes, if you will, it definitely feels more like ethics are a part of it, because now I've really grown to understand about how, the abuse of animals so that people can eat them. And I see so much disconnect between people who have pets like dogs, cats, birds, rabbits, hamsters, whatever, you name it, horses, and that then they still eat the meat. And I don't get it. I don't want to criticize anybody else. Everybody has to, like I always tell my clients, you do you. I personally have a hard time understanding how people can do that, but that's just me. I hope I'm not getting myself in hot water. But anyway, I was a standard American diet eater. I flirted with veganism for a few years, from about 2012, so maybe 13 years ago. 13? Yeah, 13 years ago, for a couple of years. And then I went off it for personal reasons. I'm not going to get into it now, but I then started eating meat and chicken and not so much fish, but meat and chicken and eggs and cheese, all kinds of dairy. And I put on more weight. I was heavier than I've ever been, and I was miserable. And then I found I cycled around these 5 diets that I absolutely hated. I was miserable, and I made everybody around me miserable because I was just miserable. And then I discovered Chef AJ, and someday I'm going to meet her and give her a great big hug and say thank you for changing my life, because that's what happened. She changed my life. I binge watched her videos. I learned about whole food, plant-based eating, and it changed my life. I gotta look at the green light. It changed my life, and I have not looked back. And I will tell you that there are challenges. There are challenges. Most of the people in my family think I have landed on this planet from another planet, because they don't agree with my decision to do this. But that's okay. I feel very firm about eating this way and following this lifestyle because it's what has brought me peace. It's what helped me lose that last 10 pounds that I was still struggling with. And, it's funny. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, or was it this morning? I can't remember. But I was talking to a friend of mine who does the same work as I do as a coach. And we were talking about how so many people have far more weight to lose than I did. But she was reminding me that it doesn't matter how much weight you have to lose. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you found what works and that what has enabled you to sustain the progress that you made, which is exactly what happened. And I really feel blessed to have found this way of life. The majority of the people in my world, not the majority, with the exception of my sister and some of my online friends, nobody really wants to eat this way. And most people, it's a lawnmower. Do I want to go past him? Shoot. Might be a little bit loud. Well, I'll just walk fast past him. Yeah. I don't know if you can hear that, but oof. Okay. So, anybody have a question while I'm walking? This is a Q&A, walk and talk. So most people don't come to this kind of change. They might think it radical until they have a health problem. 6:15. I need to know what time it is. Oh, it's 5:15. Okay, good. So most people don't come to it unless they have a health problem. They've had a heart attack. They've been told by their doctor that they need a stent. They have diabetes. They have cancer. They have, heart disease that has really run rampant with their health. And that's when oftentimes when people come to make changes in their diet. I get it. Because when you are entrenched in eating one way for decades, look, I'm 70. I ate this way for, the better part of 6 decades. Some of which I had no control over because it was what my parents did. But then once I was an adult and I had agency over my own body, I still ate a standard American diet because I didn't know better. Well, I think there's an expression, when you know better, you do better. That's what happened to me. When I finally learned and knew better, that's when I did better. And every night I would go to bed with indigestion. Terrible. And I would wake up in the middle of the night with indigestion. It was awful. And that's gone. It happened really fast, by the way. It was quick that I was able to reverse that. Loud truck coming by. Okay. And I'm on a side road, so we shouldn't have too many cars doing that. How do you handle family gatherings? Oh, great question, Mary Ellen. I pretty much, there are a couple of things that I do. First of all, if I'm lucky enough and the family gathering isn't at home, if I'm lucky enough, the people who are hosting know and will ask me what I need. And I ask them what they're serving, and then I maybe ask them to make some accommodations. So, for example, if they're doing a barbecue and they're doing baked potatoes, I'll ask them to just keep one potato aside and please not put any oil or butter or anything on it when they cook it. I tell them I want a naked potato, so I'll do that. If they're making salad, I ask them to please not put dressing on it, or to take a serving of it aside for me. And when I tell them that, I tell them to not make a small salad, but to take a dinner plate, and that's the size of the salad that I want. I often will, I'm not going to ask them to accommodate me and make tofu or tempeh or soy curls or TVP. I'm not going to do that. So what I do is I bring my own. And I always have stuff in the refrigerator to make because I do a lot of batch cooking. So I might bring a little lunch bag that has what I want. It'll have my salad dressing, which I bring, and it'll have maybe any leftover veggies I had. And when you go places, most oftentimes there's going to be a salad, and there's going to be rice or potatoes. And if they're making rice, I ask them to please not put butter in it. People are oftentimes they'll be accommodating, but if they're not, you can't blame them, and I can't put that on them. And so I just make it work for me. And if it means I have to bring my whole meal, I do it, because most people in your world, trust me, don't eat this way. They don't. You're lucky if you can find a small support group of people who live locally that maybe you get together with once a month, once a quarter, and you potluck it. So anyway, excuse me, that's how I do it. I ask ahead, I call ahead. If we're invited to a function like a wedding or a catered affair, I ask if I can be in touch with the caterer. And what's the worst that can happen? They'll say no. Usually affairs like that will always, again, have a salad. So when I get there, I make sure to make really good friends with the wait staff, and I tell them that I'm following a doctor supervised, whatever you want to say, way of eating, and that I need to not eat any oil or salad dressing, and could they please let me know what's on the menu. Usually and then ask them to put stuff aside for me. I have no compunction at all. I do not worry about what anybody thinks of me. That's something you have to develop a thick skin and not care what anybody thinks, because there are going to be people who think you're a lunatic. It's just the way it is. Okay. This is a new frontier, like people going across the country in covered wagons. That's what this is like. And I've never felt better. I've never felt like I looked better. I can't say enough about it. So I'm going to actually turn around and go over to the shady side of the street, over here. And, okay, who has another question for me? Why can't I get this? Let's see if I can put this under here. See if that works. Okay. Who has a question for me? Let me know where you're watching from. And if you're watching this on the replay, know that I'm not live anymore. And even though you might be watching on the replay and tell me you're from wherever, I try to reply to all my comments, but it might be that you make a comment and I don't see it because the live has already passed. That happens. Let's see. I would ask anybody who's watching to please go to the little icon that's a picture of a thumbs up and click on it. Right now there's 3. The more you click, the more clicks there are, the more YouTube knows that this is content that they want to show to other people. So right, there's 4. Thank you. Just click on that thumbs up, and let's see if we can gather the troops, gather people around us. And I'm going to go in the shade here, and then I'm going to show you how beautiful this. I'm going to turn this around. This is where I'm walking, right on that side of the road. Isn't that beautiful? And the ocean is that way, just about a block. I try not to go too close to that when I'm using Wi-Fi because I don't get great reception. Okay, Cindy says, Jackie says hi from Minnesota. Hi, Jackie. And wait, where did the one from Cindy go? Nope. Oh, that's cool. Connie from Silverton, Oregon. Welcome, Connie. I don't know why it's not hi, Doozer. I don't want to do that. I want to live chat. I want to see live chat. Oh, here we go. I can do that. Cindy says, I have to go back and watch more recipes of yours because I struggle on what to make. Some are just so different that I'm hesitant to buy everything to see if I like it. My husband won't try. I get it. And what I have to say to that is that Rome was not built in a day. That is for sure. And you just try little by inches. I would, depending on your preferences, I will tell you that I despised tofu. I despised it. I wouldn't go near it with a 10-foot pole. Now, I can't get enough of it. I love tofu. I've learned how to make it. And there are simple ways, like I'll give you a simple one. First of all, I'll tell you that you can buy the kind of tofu that comes in a container that has water in it, and you have to drain. You have to open it, drain it, and then you have to press it with either a tofu press, or if you don't have one, you can put it on a plate and put it on a plate, right? So the plate's underneath the tofu. Then put another plate on top of that, and then put something heavy like a brick or a heavy pot or something like that on top of it. And what it does is then squeezes the water out of it, because you really want to try to get most of the water out. And then and that can take a couple of hours. I don't buy that kind of tofu. I rarely buy that anymore, because now most of the markets, most of them have something called like a high protein tofu, I think it's called, or different markets have different names, but it's kind of wrapped and you can see it's not sitting in water. Or if you open it and it has a little bit of water, it's a little teeny tiny bit, and then you just pat it dry with some towel. But anyway, and then sometimes I'll make it by just cutting it into slabs, or maybe I'll cube it, and then I'll add garlic powder, onion powder, maybe some smoked paprika, maybe some soy sauce, maybe some nutritional yeast. You honestly could just do salt and pepper. Sometimes I'll do barbecue sauce on it, and then you can either bake it or air fry it. It's wonderful, and I always make extra because I like having it. It's a snack on. I put it in salads. I make sandwiches out of it. There's so many different things you can do. One of my most latest, I go through phases, one of my latest most favorite is to cut the tofu into slabs and then brush it with some wheat-free tamari. I'm gluten-free. You might not have to be, so you could just do regular soy sauce that has wheat in it. And then I take a no-salt seasoning like Costco has one, but you can find Mrs. Dash has them. There's a million of them. And I just sprinkle it all over, and then I turn all the slabs over, and I do it again, and then I air fry it. Oh, there's a big dog coming. And then I air fry it, and it's delicious. It makes great sandwiches. Okay. Let's see. Big dog coming. Little dog over there. Hi. Good, thank you. Okay. So, yeah, and you know, it's a little trial by. You just gotta. I want to say trial by error, but that's not what I mean. It's just you have to try. You have to just keep trying different things. Beans is another thing. I eat a ton of beans. I almost always have 1 or 2 or 3 bean concoctions in my refrigerator. So, for example, I made, rough to you. Can you guys hear that dog? I made mung beans the other night in the Instant Pot, which took no time at all, and they were sensational. They were really, really good. Okay, let's see. Let me see if I can. Tell me how long to cook the tofu. Temp, how do you know it's ready? What temperature and time? Okay, I do 400 degrees air fried. And you could probably do the same thing in the oven, baking it, or you could do 350, 375. You know, you got to try it, because the way I like it might not be the way you like it. I like it pretty dried. He was big. And Mary Ellen says I'm gluten-free too. So yeah, you have to try it. And you know, you try it, and if it doesn't come out to your liking, you have to decide why. Is it too dry? Was it not dry enough? Did you not taste the flavor enough? And you will eventually figure out how to make it in a way that you like. And I can tell you, because I'm living proof of it. I used to hate it, and now I can't get enough of it. I eat soy in some way, shape, or form every single day, because it's great to ward away what my friend Anna Maria calls the menopause. And for those of you who have been hoodwinked into thinking that soy is not good for you, I'm here to tell you I'm not a doctor, but you're wrong. Soy is great for you. And I sleep at night. I'm like smack, in postmenopausal. I should not be sleeping. All right, I get up once to pee. Okay, but that's it. And I eat soy all the time. So go figure, right? So that's tofu is kind of a good starting place, because it's so versatile and it really takes on the flavor of whatever you like. There's a wonderful content creator. Her name is Fat Free Vegan. And she has a recipe for, I want to say it's called Southern Fried Soy Curls. I think that's what she does. And I used to love fried clams. I used to love them. They were one of my most favorite foods to eat. I don't eat them anymore, but these dang soy curls, if they don't taste like fried clams, I don't know. They taste just like fried clams. They have the same texture. I make them with a cornmeal and an oat flour from this recipe. And I actually think I might want that tonight. So anyway, so that was the tofu, but I started to say about beans. I have a recipe that my friend Starchy Shauna shared on her YouTube channel called, what is it called? Oh, Piñata Pintos. And I made them the other night in the Instant Pot. Delicious. Easy as can be. Now here's an example of how I learn. They came out a little bit more salty, and not that I could taste, but I had them a couple nights ago, and the next morning, I think it was yesterday morning, I woke up and I couldn't get my rings on. My fingers were swollen. And I went and looked at one of the ingredients is for this, the piñata pintos, was a jar of salsa. And I looked at I looked up the nutritional label, and sure enough, there was a ton of sodium in it. And so, hi. And so, when I went to the market this morning, I went to the place, the shelf where I got the salsa, and I looked at, there were maybe 10 or 15 different options, and most of them were like 250 milligrams of sodium for 2 tablespoons. And I know that I eat more than 2 tablespoons, even though I used a whole jar of it, and I'm obviously not eating a whole jar's worth, but hold on, I lost my train of thought. So I was looking at the sodium, and I finally found one that was like 85, I think, maybe 85 milligrams of sodium for 2 tablespoons, and that's the one that I got. So you have to do your homework. You have to look at labels. Hi there. You have to look at labels and figure out what's going to be the best for you. But, so that's an example of my body dictating or telling me, teaching me that I obviously had too much salt the night before. So, and I'm not whole food plant-based and SOS. I'm not sugar, oil, salt free. I still eat sugar and I still eat salt. I don't eat oil, but so you have to listen to your body. That's important to learn to recognize cues from your body. Now I saw, where is it? Oh, there we go. Let me see. Oh, I just figured this out. I made piñata beans also. I used home canned. Oh, Connie, healthy Connie, I need to make my own salsa. That's what I need to do. That is a great idea. And so for the tofu, and to answer your question, I do 400 degrees air fried for about 15 minutes ish, give or take. It could be 12. Depends on the size of your air fryer and the cavity size of it, and it depends on what kind of air fryer. I have several air fryers, and the one that's more like a toaster oven, that one takes more time, whereas my ones that are, I think they're like shaped like a helmet, if you will, those take less time because the cavity inside is smaller. So you have to experiment, and you'll eventually find what works for you. Okay, do we have any other questions? This is a Q&A. Please make sure to, we've got, let's see how many. We've got 9 thumbs up that were clicked. So if you're watching, please click on that thumbs up. Green Lady says, couldn't find fat-free vegan. Please put link later. Thank you. Couldn't find fat-free vegan. I don't know if she's on YouTube. She might just have a website or a blog. And her name, you can find her on Instagram for sure. Um, oh, here comes some shade. Yes. All right. So, who has a question? Who's think about whether you're struggling. I will tell you that people think that all they need are recipes, and that is the furthest from the truth. It's just not true. You can find recipes that are a dime a dozen. What I teach when I coach people is to have a few recipes in your holster, if you will. And those are kind of your go-to recipes. Like, for example, I have a cheese sauce, which I have a video of on my channel. That's one of my go-tos. I have it in the fridge right now, and I will definitely be having that for dinner, probably over more pinata beans, pinata pintos. What else? The tofu. I have a standard tofu way of making the tofu. I have a standard way of making my air fried French fries that are oil free. Stuff like that. And then other than that, I teach people to make plates out of individual components. And if you're diligent about making those components and keeping them in your fridge, so you always have what to make a meal from, then you might not know exactly what you're having, but you open the fridge and you go, oh, right, I have some leftover pinata pinto beans, and look at that, I have some leftover potatoes, or I have some leftover rice, or you throw some rice onto the stove to cook, or into your Instant Pot. And I have already prepped, cut, cleaned kale, and you make that. I have a way that Starchy Shauna also taught me how to make greens, and I try to have greens at least once, if not multiple times a day. And then, boom, you have a meal. And then after you're done with your dinner, you clean up, then you have some sorbet that you make in your blender, made out of frozen berries and frozen bananas, and boom, you're sated, you're satiated. I have a new tagline that I haven't figured out how to use it yet, but I want you to be nurtured. I want you to be nourished. I want you to be satiated, and I want you to be satisfied. Those are the things that I look for my clients and for myself. I want those 4 things to be present when I am eating a meal, or even after I've finished my meal. That's how I want to feel. And when you do that over and over and over again, what happens is that you build habits. And you know that habits, like brushing your teeth, right? When you brush your teeth, you now do it without thinking. You do it in the morning, you do it at night, sometimes you do it other times of the day, but you don't question it. You just do it because it's a habit you've had for years. And, maybe when you were a little kid, you didn't have that habit. Then your parents had to drum it into you until the point you got to be old enough to realize that you had to brush your teeth every day. It's the same thing. It's building habits and then stacking them one on top of the other. So I'm telling you to start by stacking one habit. Have something that you prep, because I'm the prep queen. Have something that you prep, put it in your refrigerator, and for a week, 1 week, that's all I'm asking. Do it for 1 week. And then build upon that. Now you've got that habit down, build upon that and do something else. Maybe you get a grain that you are going to get that drummed into your habits, right? So what I like to ask people is where you struggle. If right now we're online, right? We're on YouTube, and so the YouTube police are not going to come. The Whole Food Plant-Based police are not going to come and arrest you. Let's just share. Where are your struggles? My struggles in the beginning were definitely going out to eat to restaurants and to other people's houses or to functions like catered events. That's no longer a problem for me because I've learned how to handle it. I've learned how to make it work for me. But I had a bunch of those problems in the beginning, and it took me a couple of years. I know that sounds crazy, but it took me a couple of years to undo the being wound up and bound up in decades of eating a standard American diet. And you have to not beat yourself up. You have to welcome the problems, because if you have a problem and you're willing to try to solve it, that's the way to do it. That is the way to do it. One step at a time. Rome wasn't built in a day, and Think about how you want to feel tomorrow. Think about how you want to feel after you have your next meal. How do you want to feel? What's your, how do you want to feel after your next meal? I think of that often. If I'm going to indulge in something, I will think to myself, and this is a habit I've also developed, how am I going to feel when I finish this fill in the blank? When I take, when I decide to eat a cup of ice cream, how am I going to feel afterwards? It's going to be delicious going down, but I'm going to feel like crap afterwards, and I'm going to feel disappointed in myself, and it's going to want to make me eat more of the stuff, even though it doesn't make me feel good, because then I want to punish myself, right? So, yes, let's just see. Eating out is hard. I love to go to bingo, and everything is deep fried. Makes me nervous to go to bingo. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. Jackie, don't be nervous. Here's what I'm here to tell you. Was it hard to get away from weighing, measuring food, and trusting your appetite? Oh, I'm going to come back to that in a minute, but let me answer Jackie's question. I'm gifting you with this big open heart of mine to say, don't be scared. Be prepared. Ooh, that was good. Did you hear what I just said? I need to bottle that up. I need to remember I just said that. Don't be scared. Be prepared. Not kidding. Let's help Jackie. Okay, let's all help Jackie. What are some things Jackie could do to go to bingo and not feel scared? What do you think? Jackie, we're going to help you out so you're not scared, you're prepared. Hi. Let's see, I will say make some air. I would say bring a bag full of stuff that you will not feel sorry that you brought. Like, for example, you could bring air popped popcorn that you spray with a little bit of liquid aminos, which is a soy-based, and then maybe sprinkle some nutritional yeast on it, or salt and pepper if you want. So you can do that. Bring some apple slices. Bring something that that everybody around you is gonna go, oh, like for example, I make a great sauce that, in fact, I'm gonna probably have it tonight for dessert. I make a great sauce with PB Fit, the peanut butter powder, which there's a zillion different companies that make it. So PB Fit, cacao or cocoa powder, and maple syrup. Mix that up so you have like a chocolate sauce. And then bring some sliced apples with you. Maybe put some lemon juice around the sliced apples, and so lemon juice on them so that the apples don't turn brown. And then take that out when you're playing bingo. Some sliced apples dipped in that. Oh, it's delicious. It is delicious. I'm telling you, it is so, so good. And that's a really good, healthy snack. So you got your apples, you got your popcorn. Bring some hummus and some carrots and cucumbers or celery. You're all set. You're all set. Okay? Don't be scared. Be prepared. So would somebody please put that in the chat so that when I go back and look at it, I'll remember it. Don't be scared. Be prepared. I'm going to go into my backyard and sit down. Okay? That's what I'm going to do. And get a drink of water. And, okay. That is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to take this and put it like this. Put it up. Okay. Oh, nice. I'm going to put that under my bottom. Okay, hold on a second. I'm coming. Somebody wrote, I saw it disappear, but 1 second. Okay, let's see, where is it? Don't be scared, be prepared. Oh my gosh, such good ideas. Thank you. Don't be scared, be prepared. That's it, my friend. I'm going to take out my water. I'm going to take this off. Oh, I'm going to take this off because it's heavy. That was a good walk. I think I did, let's see, I did about 45 minutes with that vest on. Whew. Okay. get a drink. Okay, so there you go. Don't be scared, be prepared. Let's see, Anne, I think, let me find one before that. Anita from Ann Arbor. Was it hard to get away from weighing, measuring food, and trusting your appetite? How long did it take? I've been eating this way for a while, but actually need to gain weight. Oh my goodness, okay. Good. That's a whole other issue to deal with. Um, I would say, let me get a drink. Okay. I would say, like I said to you, I think it took me a couple of years to really kind of get it down pat, you know? Oh, you are so sweet. Thank you. My friend Liquid Hour, my friend Anad. He gave me a gift, which is so sweet. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. So it took me probably the better part of 2 years to really get it all solidified. And if that sounds impossible, then how many years were you eating a standard American diet? You know, really, how many years? Probably a lot of years. And was it hard for me? And how long did it take for me to learn to trust my appetite? I don't think that took too long, because I saw such great success at feeling better, that where my reflux went away, my indigestion went away, and I learned how to trust that, you know, when you pick up your fork and you go to take a bite, and you know in your heart that you're really too full and that you don't really need that bite, that's a skill that you can learn. If it's learnable to do that. And it's hard because maybe the food is so delicious that you want to continue eating it. You don't want to not eat it. But that's not a reason to eat it, because if you know that you eat that one more bite, that it's going to be over the top for you and you're not going to feel well, it is not worth it, right? So it does take time, Anita, and that was a really, really good question. So give yourself grace and know that it takes time. And also another thing I want to say is that, and this is a separate issue, this is something else I want to talk about, which is that I'm 70 and a half years old. And while my trainer told me that I'm in better shape than some 60-year-olds that she knows, she and I talk a lot about body positivity and body acceptance. And she has said to me, you know, I've said to her, like, am I ever going to lose this? And she says, no, this is age. This is, you know, you're almost 71 years old and you're not going to lose it. So I have to come to some terms with that. That doesn't mean that I could go off the deep end and just, you know, eat what I want and not exercise. I'm not going to do that because, like I said, I told her I don't care about her helping me get skinny. I care about her helping me get strong and helping me to improve my balance, okay? I'm going to show you, I don't know if I can do this. I'm going to turn this way. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can show this to you. Let me see if you can see me. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to show you what she taught me how to do, and I'm tired. It's the end of the day, so I probably won't do a great job. So my left foot is down here on the patio. My right foot, I take my heel and put it in front of my toes. Now even here, I'm a little bit wobbly, okay? I found this morning when I did it that if I bent my knees, it helped. Now I'm going to take my left foot and put it in front of my right foot, and I'm a little wobbly. She said if I continue to do this, I will get to the point where I won't be wobbly. Okay, let me do my right foot. With my knees bent, for some reason, it seems easier. Left foot. So I'm doing basically keeping my feet in a straight line, except for when I do that. Okay, and then I went back and forth. I did it forwards and backwards. And that's an example of when I wanted her to help me with balance. That was what I wanted her to help me do, get better with my balance. So she's going to bring me some other thank you. She's going to bring me some other balance exercises to do as well. So, we're in a different position, and depending on what your age is and what level of menopause you're in, it is that's going to impact, you know, choices that you make. So Susanna says, "Oh my God, you look like you in DW what DWS." So don't drink, but hopefully you'll get a chocolate. Yeah, it's true. You're right. No, I don't drink at all. So, but it was about balance, and you know, that was very funny. So anyway, if you're watching, please do me a favor and make sure to click on that thumbs up. Right now it's at 20. I know that there are, let's see, there are how many people? There are 23 people on here. So let's get a few more of those. And thank you. And thank you, Nod, for your gift. I appreciate it. It's going to buy me half of a Starbucks, so I need another half. But thank you. That was so sweet of you. When you see people online who do lives like this and they're influencers, it's really lovely when first of all, it's just lovely that you're here, and I'm happy with that. And I'm also happy when people leave me little gifts, because it's just an acknowledgement of the work that I do here to help um, to help coach you, right here in the flesh, in the real thing. So, more questions, please, sir. More questions, please, sir. Um, uh, Anybody having any struggles with their? Oh, I like this. I'm going to do this more often. I love this being outside. The weather is so gorgeous here. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to pull this closer. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to cross my legs. I'm going to be out here in this gorgeous weather. So I wonder how you feel about my not giving you recipes. I do give you some. I certainly have quite a number of recipes on my channel, from some of my faves. But like I tell my clients, what's the expression? Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, and he'll eat for the rest of his life. That is my philosophy. If I teach you how to feed yourself in a way that's healthy, then I'm going to help you eat for the rest of your life. And that is really, really my goal, is to give you the skills and the confidence to follow a whole food, plant-based, oil-free way of life, so that you can help not just extend your lifespan, but to actually improve your health span. All right, think about the difference between that. Your lifespan, you could live another, I'm 70 and change. I could live another 20, 30 years. And if I'm in crummy health, well, that is it's like not worth living, practically. I don't want to be I don't want my health to deteriorate. So but if I want my health span, if I want whatever years left I have of my life, if I want those to be really good, healthy, nourishing, sustaining years, then I want to make sure that I do what I can do to improve my health span. And the way I do that is by following a whole food, plant-based, oil-free lifestyle. And I know so many people. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. I know so many. Okay, Susanna says, I actually had an aha moment yesterday watching Dr. McDougall's Stacy Cross interview, and she talked about how a lot of times, because even though it's compliant sauces and condiments, we tend to overeat maybe. I'm going to see if you can finish that. And you know what, Susanna, if you could, by any chance, share that link. overeat food, even though it's 100% compliant, and even on the maximum weight loss, we don't really, whoops, we don't really taste the food, just the sauces. It really was doubtful for me to think about. Yeah, I'd like to know more about that. I, yeah, I mean, that's why I think, kind of in a way, I have a friend, Starchy Shauna, who's doing a 30-day reset. And I might do that. I'm curious to know if anybody here would be interested in that. But the way Starchy Shauna is teaching the reset is to keep things as naked as possible. I'm going to get back to that. Yesterday, I actually went through everything in my cupboard and got rid of sugar and salt in my seasonings and sauces, kind of like Chef AJ and Dr. Esselstyn with their SOS Free. This way, I'll wait for you to finish that. Yeah, it's kind of like giving yourself a clean slate, right? So, let me see the rest of what you say, because this is very important information for all of us to pay attention to. So what Starchy Shauna does is all right, so to actually taste the food for what it really is and change my taste buds in that regards. And that way I'm in tune with my hunger, yes, your hunger and fullness. And I agree with you, because it's so easy to overindulge, right? Karen says, do you think one must remove all overt fats in order to lose weight? I think that if you want to lose weight, I think it's a good idea to either remove them all, depending on how much weight you have to lose, or to at least to decrease them significantly. I did that, and I still watch. I'm still cognizant of that, because I don't want to gain the weight back. And it's been, I've been doing this now for 6.5 years, and probably 4 of those have been me being compliant and me on being on maintenance. And I don't want to ever go back. So when I eat things, I think I have an internal, thermometer. I don't know if that's the right word. That helps me know when I'm overdoing it on the sauces and the seasonings. And I also, one of the things that really happened that's really interesting, and you won't believe it until you do it, is that when you come to this way of this lifestyle and this way of eating, you taste food differently, because your taste buds really do change. You taste food differently. I'll eat broccoli now and I'll be amazed at how it tastes. It's the best chocolate candy I ever had. If you had asked me that, 6, 8 years ago, we'll say 8 years ago, I would have said, you're out of your mind. But now, that broccoli tastes so delicious. And, maybe I'll put some, I've discovered Mrs. Dash. There are a couple of seasoning companies. Mrs. Dash is one, and what's the other one? Oh, Local Spicery also. And I've just discovered some seasonings that, like for example, with my tofu that I brush it with tamari, wheat-free tamari, and I add no salt seasoning from Costco, and it's sensational. It's so good. Simpler sometimes, simpler is better. So I think it's not a bad idea to watch your overt fats, but I also think that you, at the same time, please be careful that you're eating enough. Eat more beans. And I think I started talking about this earlier, but I don't feel like I finished. The beans are a real key, I think, to satiation. I have 3 kinds of beans in my refrigerator right now. I started telling you this and then I got off track. I have Instant Pot mung beans that I was just beyond amazed, because I've had these mung beans for a few years. I mostly have got them to, not mostly, I got them to sprout them. And I have a big jar of them, and I never thought to cook them. Well, my friend Anna Maria suggested that I cook them in the Instant Pot. They were so good. I was stunned out of my mind. Okay, so I have mung beans. I also have some leftover cargamanto beans, which is a Hispanic kind of a bean, I think. Cargamanto, or cargamanto. Not sure how to say it. But I made those also in the Instant Pot. And my friend Anna Marie has taught me how to make the beans as a general rule and don't flavor them. But after they're cooked and they're room temp, and you put them in the fridge, And then when you go to eat them, that's when you can flavor them, because that way you can change the flavor depending on what you want. If you want a Greek way of, a Greek, what's the word I want? Flavor profile, then you're going to want to put Greek seasonings, oregano and lemon and whatever other Greek seasonings there are. If you want an Asian kind of a flavor profile, that's going to suggest something different. If you want sort of a Mexican flavor profile, that's going to be more like chili powder and cumin and coriander. So, you learn how to do that, but you make the beans kind of sort of naked almost. And then from there, you can then flavor them when you go to eat them. Okay? But the point I wanted to make was, if you're cutting out your overt fats or cutting down on them, you, under all circumstances, not just that, even when eating overt fats, I still think that you want to eat a lot. Your plate should be smack dab full of greens, first of all, or I should say non-starchy vegetables, or I call them non-starchies. You want to be eating 3 times as much non-starchy vegetables as you think you should. That's how much you want your plate to be filled. And, you might want to maybe almost like 3/4 of your plate to be filled with those non-starchies. And then you have left a quarter, maybe you divide that in half and you do beans in some of it. And then you also do grains or starches, I want to say. So potatoes, rice, whatever. And you just want to make sure that you're eating enough foods that are going to satiate you and hit that hunger, feel like you tapped into it and you satisfied it. That's really, really important. I don't know if you've ever seen this title, but eat more to weigh less. And it is so true. It is so true. Eat more to weigh less. And I am here to tell you, my hand to God, I'm a living example of it. Susanna says, that's so funny. I have messengers full of all different beans that I've had for years as well. Yeah. I've had, and that's changing for me. And again, 6.5 years I've been on this, and the bean thing has been difficult for me, but guess what? The last few months, I'm catching up, and now like I said, I have 3 kinds of beans in my refrigerator. Oh, 4, because I do have some canned refried beans. Oh, that was a yawn. Okay, hold on a second. I love refried beans. I was reading somebody's post today that gave me a great idea, which was that if you have texture problems with beans, take them and mash them. Good day, Leslie says from South Australia. Yay. Oops, let me just get here. Yay, I've caught you live. It's 7:30 a.m. Friday. Welcome, Leslie. Nice to have you here with me. The beans. So eat more to weigh less. What does that make you think? How do you feel about that? Eat more to weigh less. I'd love to know in the comments where that kind of lands for you. And how often do you eat those beans? I'm trying to really eat them on the regular. Speaking of on the regular, they also make you regular, and I think you know what I mean. Thank you, Ellen. I agree with you about the beans. Very satisfying. Yep. Now, I'm at maintenance, and I have been for a while. So for me, adding salsa, or I made some homemade sofrito a couple days ago, so I've been using that. What else? I make my cheese sauce. Sometimes I do California balsamics. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. I'm so sorry. It's so rude of me. The California balsamics are one of the greatest gifts to my life, I have to say. If you haven't tried them and you want to do that, when I finish this live, I will add my affiliate link in the comments. And I would highly recommend that you order them. I earn a few pennies, maybe even less than that from when you're an affiliate. Those are so good. Now, they're very sweet and they're also pricey. So I've learned how to stretch them. I will often mix them with salsa and make a dressing out of it. I'll mix them with hummus and make a dressing out of it. I'll mix them with some regular store-bought balsamic, either white or dark, and stretch them because I want them to last a long time. So I order probably twice a year, and I usually order about 6 bottles each time, and then I get a lot of little ones that they give you for as like gifts. So that's also another way that I flavor my food. Okay. Uh, so um, this was really meant to be a Q&A. So let me know, if you would, if you have any questions, comments, concerns. That's what I want to know. Questions, comments, concerns. I'm starting to speak a little quieter because I've done these some filming outside on my patio, and my neighbors later, or like the next day, they come and they laugh at me and say, "We heard every word that you said," which is really kind of funny. So yeah, I'm gonna go and make dinner very soon, and I just want to make sure that you heard what you needed to hear. I always feel like I want to leave my listeners with feeling like they heard what they needed to hear, and that they got what they needed. How much water do you drink a day regularly? Well, I'll tell you. That's a good question. Not this one, because this is the one I took on my walk, but I have a 40-ounce water container that is like one of those Stanleys, and I fill it up in the morning with ice, and or sometimes I have homemade iced tea because I have a gazillion. Am I the only one? Raise your hand that has a gazillion tea bags that are like caffeine-free tea bags. So I've been trying to work my way through them. So I make iced tea. I fill that 40-ounce up, and I usually finish it by noon or early afternoon, and then I fill it up again, and I try to finish it before bed. The only drawback of that is that I'm up a couple times at night peeing, so that's not great. But I'm trying to actually stop drinking liquids. Even at dinner, I'm trying to drink very minimal because I want to try to finish dinner about 4 hours before we go to bed, and I want to not drink anything during that time. I might have that apple tonight with the chocolate sauce, which would be delicious. But so that's about it. And water has always been a bit of a struggle for me. I do try to do this, and I'll show you my little trick. I take 10 glugs, or what's the word I want? 10 swigs is what I do, and I count them. So I'll show you with my fingers. That was 10. And by doing that, it really helps me to drink my water. Those are silly little tricks that we play with on ourselves, but it works. You know? And I find that I like drinking water or tea. When I'm having a drink, I'd rather drink ice cold liquids than room temperature. That's just me. And I also love drinking my decaf coffee. I let myself have 1 cup in the morning, but sometimes I don't even have that. I'll have my dandelion blend. It's called Dandy Blend, which is a combination of roasted barley, roasted chicory, roasted dandelion, and roasted one other thing that I can't remember, but it's my delicious treat. I ordered a big bag from Amazon, and I love it. I really am trying to drink a lot because my skin is very, very dry, and especially in the summer, and actually in the winter too, it's very dry. So we want to try to drink as much as we can. So let's see. If you're just watching and you're newly watching, please click on the thumbs up so that YouTube knows that this is something they should let other people who are interested in whole food, plant-based eating or healthy eating, because I'm Ellen's Healthy Kitchen. Make sure that you click on that. Right now it's up to 28. I'd love to see it get to 30 if possible. So let's talk about wherever you are in the world, what your next meal is. Tell me in the comments what you're planning on. And I'm going to tell you what I've had so far today. This morning I had my oatmeal, and those of you who follow me know that my oatmeal is my life. Oatmeal is what helped me stay the narrow path and not veer off of it. I love my oatmeal, and I eat it every morning for breakfast. Mostly hot oatmeal. Sometimes I eat it in the form of pancakes or waffles, or sometimes I eat it raw, actually, which I also love. So I had my oatmeal, and it had in it, when I cooked it, it had riced cauliflower. It had shredded zucchini. It had half a banana, frozen banana, and then it had a little bit of liquid stevia. And I do a quarter cup of oats to a cup and a quarter of water. Oh, it also had a tablespoon of lentils, red lentils, and which you don't taste, nor do you taste the cauliflower. And then I cooked it for 10 minutes in the microwave. And then when I dished it out, when I put it in my dish, I added a big hunkin' amount of shredded carrots, which I prep every week, keep in the fridge. And I had half of a Cosmic Crisp apple. And I had a little bit of soy yogurt and a little bit of plant strong granola, which was just, and a tiny little drizzle of maple syrup, and it was just sensational. I think I saw a comment come in. Let's see if I can find it. Dinner is broccoli, cauliflower, tomatoes, brown rice, and garlic hummus. Oh, that sounds delicious. Yum, yum, yum. I love that. Are the red lentils in your oatmeal already cooked? No, they're not. I put them in. They in 10 minutes in the microwave, they cook to melt. They melt away. And it gives me just an extra little boost of fiber and an extra little boost of protein, plant proteins. So that's what I do with that. I've tried TVP, not as much a fan of it as I am. Sometimes I'll add PB Fit, the peanut butter powder, or sometimes I'll do both. So depends on what I remember that day. So anyway, so that's what I have for breakfast, my oatmeal. Marilyn says, sounds great. I'll try that tomorrow. It was terrific. I loved it. It's like what I eat every morning, pretty much. And then for lunch, I had leftover sushi, which was sushi that I made with jasmine rice and nori paper and what do you call it? Cucumber and carrot and avocado and chopped peanuts. And then I made what I call a low-fat peanut tamari kind of a sauce that was just delicious with it. How much red lentils? Oh, in the quarter cup of, it's a quarter cup of rolled oats, but it's a rounded quarter cup. So it's not a half a cup, but it's a rounded, right? So it's a little bit more than a quarter cup. 1 1/4 cups of water and 1 tablespoon of red lentils, which eventually you might want to increase, but for me that does the trick. Okay, so I was saying for lunch I had my sushi, and then I also had, how you can buy those steamable bags of vegetables? So this was not frozen, but a steamable fresh bag of green beans, and I had eaten half of it yesterday. So I took the other half and I microwaved it. And that would have been fine just like that, but I wanted something a little different. So I stir-fried them, no oil, with a little bit of coconut aminos and some water. And I let that go for maybe 5, 8 minutes, and then I had that. So that was my lunch. Yeah, that was it. And those are pretty filling meals. And I walked just now, probably 3 miles, and I did an hour stretch class, and I did an hour with my strength training person. So, and for dinner, we do Thursday we do pasta. So I think I'm gonna make some air fried tofu, or maybe soy curls, and make some red lentil pasta or chickpea pasta. And I'm gonna do my don't call it cheese sauce, and I think I'm gonna make a salad. So that's my food for today. So what else? Hello, Ellen. Kim says, I am still waiting for you to email me. Yes, it has been one heck of a summer. I have not had any time to myself. We had my husband's kids, two adult kids and two 3 and 6 year olds stay with us for a week. And then they left, and it took me days to do the laundry, don't ask. And then earlier this week, we had his other daughter and her teenage son come for like 4 days. And I'm today still cleaning up. I had company before then. It's just been a wild summer. And then in 2 weeks, we have more company coming for 10 days. So it's just been crazy. So it's coming, Kim, it's coming. Let's see. Does anybody have any other questions? Because I think I'm gonna wrap up the way I usually do I end my, all of my lives with a yoga kind of meditation. So if we're ready, if you don't have any more questions, then I'm going to show you what I do. Slow down. Take a deep breath. And I'm going to have you pinch your thumb and your pinky together like that. Pinch your thumb and your fourth finger together. Pinch your thumb and your third finger together. Pinch your thumb and your second finger together. Oh, wait a minute. Let me just see where we are. Oh, and you know what? I just got a call that I have to take, so we're going to do this another time. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate each of you, and we'll see you on my next live.